Hello fans, and welcome back to another straight-up throwdown on Grudge Match, the show where the top contenders of the two most prominent comic universes do battle to decide the true dominator. Today's match brings together two dastardly villains who time and again give the top hand-to-hand heroes a run for their money. From Marvel, the villain who killed Captain America, it's Crossbones, and from DC, the bruiser who broke Batman, it's Bane. In addition to the obvious similarities in the looks of these two, they also bear similarities in their abilities, being enhanced fighters and mercenaries who tirelessly pursue their heroic arch-nemeses to prove that they are superior. So taking a look at them individually and starting with Crossbones, first created in 1989, Brock Rumlow's origins are that at a young age he was a gang leader and he assaulted a young girl who would go on to be Captain America ally Diamondback in later years. He assaulted her, and then when her two brothers came looking for revenge, he ended up killing the two of them, and this sent him on a lifelong path of villainy and crime. He found himself training under the tutelage of Taskmaster at Taskmaster's School for Criminals, immediately recognized as a prodigy, and within 3 years became an instructor at Taskmaster's School. Also during this time, he fell in with the villainous Red Skull, and over the years has become a favored henchman of the Captain America villain, going so far as to even remaining loyal to the Red Skull when the Red Skull was seemingly killed, and having a romantic relationship with Red Skull's daughter Sin. Now when it comes to Crossbones' abilities, he has an enhanced physiology. It's unknown what exactly transpired to give him enhanced abilities, but it is believed that it's something that Red Skull did to him, specifically so that he would be able to compete with Captain America in hand-to-hand combat. So he has an enhanced physiology that is very similar to that of Captain America, having peak human strength, speed, agility, and durability. He's been able to stalemate Cap in one-on-one fights, and he's defeated top-tier fighters in the Marvel Universe, like Winter Soldier and Daredevil and Bullseye, in times that they've had collisions between them. Crossbones usually utilizes a variety of firearms, and he was actually the one responsible for killing Captain America during the Death of Captain America storyline that took place after the superhero Civil War. He was the assassin and sniper who took out Captain America. And though he is regularly seen utilizing firearms quite often, he also has a tendency to go hand-to-hand just for the enjoyment of proving that he is the better fighter than those he goes up against. Crossbones has proven to be a consummate thorn in the side of many of the heroic characters of the Marvel Universe over the last few decades. Bane of DC Comics, first created in 1993. His backstory is that he was raised in a prison in Santa Prisca. He was given the life sentence for crimes that his father committed, and so he spent his entire youth in this prison where he excelled in fighting and also studied materials within the prison and became a polymath genius. So he has a natural high IQ and a natural tendency towards violence, which led him to become the top dog at the prison and the king of the prison until he eventually escaped. Also, while he was in the prison, he was subjected to experimentation and used as a guinea pig to test the massively powerful steroid known as Venom that Bane came to utilize all throughout the rest of his life. Now, this steroid Venom gave him peak human attributes in the areas of speed and reflexes, and actually gave him superhuman attributes in terms of strength and durability. His strength, when he's utilizing Venom, can actually increase his musculature to the point where he's able to lift up to 3 tons. And it also increases his durability to the point where he becomes basically bulletproof. Bullets can still pierce his skin and cause him to bleed, but won't go in very deep, allowing for a degree of bulletproof protection just by way of his skin. In addition to being a polymath genius with a very high IQ, he also is quite proficient in a variety of martial arts, able to pick those up instantly upon being exposed to them. Now, Bane generally prefers to go hand-to-hand whenever he can because he likes to test himself and test his skills against other top-tier fighters, one of the main reasons he came into conflict with Batman, but he has used weapons and firearms on occasion when the occasion calls for it. Bane used his physical skills, his genius intellect, and his strategic genius to go head-to-head with Batman and wear him down to the point where, when it came to a one-on-one physical confrontation, he was actually able to not only defeat, but famously break the Batman, breaking Batman over his knee and putting Batman out of commission for quite some time. And ever since his creation, he has always proven to be arguably the most physically difficult opponent the Batman has ever had to come up against. So clearly a wealth of similarities between these two characters, but now it's time to figure out what would happen if they were to ever go one-on-one to decide who is the best baddie. And the winner's going to be Bane. Both of these characters have one prominent factor that goes into each of their favors. On Crossbones' side, he is the one who is more likely to utilize firearms, whereas Bane prefers hand-to-hand. However, Bane does utilize guns when he needs to, and even if Crossbones does bring some guns to the party, Bane does have that level of bulletproof durability, so guns might not actually be all that effective against him. So Crossbones would have to eventually ditch the weaponry and go hand-to-hand, and that's where Bane comes out on top. Because of the Venom steroid that he utilizes, he's going to prove to actually be stronger than Crossbones, despite Crossbones' enhanced physiology. He's also going to prove to be more durable, and because of his exaggerated musculature when he's utilizing Venom, it's going to actually make him larger and thereby more physically dominating. Another thing about Bane is that despite his enhanced musculature, he doesn't lose anything in terms of agility, speed, reflexes, or dexterity. He can move and react with the same kind of speed and proficiency that someone like Batman, who is considerably smaller than Bane, is able to do. So bringing to bear those physical skills is going to prove to put him over the top when the fight eventually goes down to hand-to-hand. So even though Crossbones would come in swinging with weaponry to begin with, once it gets close quarters, Bane is going to come out on top of this grudge match. So message me down below, let me know what you think of the outcome of this fight, and as always, suggestions for future grudge matches. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Grudge Match.